All right, guys. Good morning. Hopefully, you guys are having a good morning today. We got a lot of news coming out. Today we have durable good orders at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time as well. So today is July 25th, 30 Eastern Standard Time as well. Today's July 25th. President's deadline for new trade deals is coming, next Friday is the deadline. Prior to that, we have a whole bunch of economic reports coming out. But the deadline for new trade deals or steep tariffs could trigger significant volatility if agreements with the European Union, China, UK don't materialize. The Fed is widely expected to pause rates, hold rates steady, but pressures from the White House is mounting. Bank of Japan policymakers may raise rates as soon as trade uncertainty eases and political shifts boost confidence. Jobless claims dropped unexpectedly, reinforcing labor market strength yesterday. We've had some stock earnings come out. The China-specific trade truce is expected to expire August 12th, I believe. But the general reciprocal tariffs, which have been delayed multiple times, and he said he wouldn't delay them past August 1st for European Union, India, Canada, Mexico, and others. Bassett indicated that the August 12th deadline for China may be extended with new trade talks scheduled in Stockholm later this month. He also reassured investors that markets shouldn't overthink the August 12th date yet. He emphasized dialogue remains in a good place and talks will continue. Only China has the August 12th deadline. In terms of productivity gains, generative AI is providing early productivity boosts across a lot of different sectors as well. When we take a look at earnings for this morning, we had HCA, AutoNation, Philips, Carter's, Leah, AON, OneMain, a bunch of small earnings this morning. Nothing really big, to be honest. The big news yesterday was that Jerome Powell was visited by the president at the Federal Reserve headquarters, and so they hung out a little bit yesterday. We can kind of see a video of that. Here's that video of Jerome Powell yesterday with the president. Let's find it. Here's that video.
So we're taking a look, and it looks like it's about 3.1 billion. It went up a little bit, or a lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came.
Yeah, so the confusion here is he's saying that the price of the building went up. The problem, though, is that the building that he's talking about, he added in a third building when they were only talking about two buildings. Is essentially what Jerome Powell said here.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
It just came.
Aren't those at about 3.1 as well?
3.1.
3.2. This came from us.
Yes. I don't know who does that.
You're including the market renovation. You just added. Yeah, you just added in a third building. Is what that is. That's a third building.
Well, no, but it's a building that's being built.
No, it was built.
It's a building that's being built.
We finished Martin 5 years ago.
So it's part of the overall work.
But it's
So,
not new.
So we're going to take a look.
You can tell they do not like each other, bro. They do not like each other.
Got a long way to expect any more additional crossover.
But this came out yesterday.
We're ready for them, but we have a little bit of a reserve that will.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw this right when it came out yesterday. I think I shared it to X.com as well. I might not have, but I shared the. Let me see. They also say the current administration is in talks with several universities, including Cornell, Duke, Northwestern, and Brown. Yeah, you can tell they just do not like each other. They just don't like each other, bro. They are like an old married couple, you know. And so it's, you know, it's kind of a funny dynamic there. But yeah, Intel shares are down. Last down 8.2% in pre-market. Honestly, it's kind of time for Intel to correct a little bit, dude. But personally, Intel, look how big it's down. Pretty big percentage here. I would say 20%. Or not quite 20. What is this actually? This is only about $2 a share. That would make it 10%. Still a very large drop. Very large drop. 8.2% pre-market prior to the last couple minutes. But Intel's dropping big. Is there some Intel news? All right, so Rosenblatt maintains a sell rating on Intel, $14 price target. On Thursday, they reported revenue of $12.86 billion for the second quarter, surpassing the consensus. However, they adjusted EPS for the quarter was a loss of 10 cents per share, missing the expected earnings of 1 cent per share profit. So Intel lost money last quarter. And so they're heading down some here. We also had Philips 66 drop earnings this morning. Has Bitcoin dropped all the way down to 115,000? It did. All right, so Citi's 1 year ahead UK inflation expectations is 4% in July versus 3.9 in June. 5 to 10 year inflation expectations fell to 4.2 in July, back to the same level that was in May. Yeah, but I'll take a look at gold. Give me a second. Yeah, so let's do a poll here. Are you bullish or bearish on today's market? Is going to be the poll. Yeah, rip to RIP to Hulk Hogan. Which MMA stock, Ryan? Are you talking about Endeavor, which is like the UFC parent company? Or it used to be. I don't know if it still is. No, Endeavor's actually much higher now. Yeah, gold. Gold falling back down at the 3300s. Was at 3400s for a little bit, but recently fell back down. Oh, I thought you meant like actual MMA. No, I don't know anything about this. It doesn't say it's mixed martial arts. Former Alta It says Sydney, Australia. It does have operations in the US, though. A vertically integrated tech platform powering martial arts and combat sport programs such as the Warrior Training Program and UFC Fit and Alta Academy, along with community building tools via mixedmartialarts.com and Train Alta. Yeah, but mixedmartialarts.com, it used to be a forum, right? Like, this used to be like a big MMA forum. Now, because of the way social media is now, forums are kind of like, they're not really widely used anymore. And so that's what happened to mixedmartialarts.com. And so it looks like they fall under this. That's what I was originally wondering, if this was a mixedmartialarts.com company. But yeah, gold's looking rough. I mean, we did break all-time highs yesterday right before the open again on the NASDAQ. We broke it right here. This is all-time highs on the NQ, which is at about 442s, it looks like. Or actually, we got higher than that. I'm sorry. Yeah, I still think we're at the same all-time high on the NASDAQ, which is 23,440. 175. So we're well over this. Yeah, this is the all-time highs right here. Yesterday we hit it. So this is the all-time high. We hit it late last night, early this morning. Looks like it was late last night. The 15-minute chart on gold. ETH holding green with Bitcoin over 2%, down over 2%. ETH truly has become completely unhitched from the rest of crypto. That might be could be a good or bad thing. Nvidia still sitting at 173s if we take a look at it. Google all the way back to 192s. Nvidia at 173s. Oh, it's Friday. This is the first sip of coffee I just had. Let me wake up a little bit. Hey, thank you, Vegas. Appreciate it, brother. Thank you, sir. Hey, y'all, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. What's up, Faye? All right, guys. So, yeah, I don't know why. They must have just added some Christmas music. There we go. Did you see the new South Park? No, I didn't see it. Yeah, taking a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down. It's at 117s now, so it's not the worst it could be. But it is down today. We do have durable good orders in about an hour, so we'll cover that. You know. We'll see what durable good orders show. All right, so we did have the Indian bank loan growth and deposit growth show up at 9.8% for loan growth and 10.1% for deposit growth. But yeah, Intel is a big story of the day. In other breaking news, again, we had pretty resilient jobless claims data. This is the second or third week in a row that the jobs data has been pretty good, showing a stronger labor market than expected. We did have Asian markets slipping from peaks as investors book profits ahead of central bank and trade outcomes next week. The U.S. dollar strengthened. Bond yields were mixed. If we take a look at bond yields this morning, bond yields are currently at 4.41%, 4.41%. They're up a little bit this morning, slightly more hawkish this morning in terms of bond yields. Although they peaked, yesterday all the way up at 4.44, they're at 4.41, so they're up a little bit relative to the close of yesterday for bond yields, but not much. They're kind of sitting pretty flat. They're mixed, not moving too much. And remember, bond yields and interest rates follow each other. A lot of people are saying next week's Fed meeting and what the Fed does is going to move markets. We did have China's Z say that the China economy continues to improve steadily according to CCTV reports. So we've had some variance in between stocks as well. So earnings continue to swing stocks. There's variance between strong tech. Tech has been pretty strong. And weak industrial and consumer stocks. AI productivity optimism, continues to push up wages and inflation pressure. And so people also don't know what to think, Next week we got Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, Charta, HCA, and more. We got the Fed, Bank of Japan, ECB policy announcements next week. We've got non-farm payrolls, unemployment, jobless claims, GDP data, PCE inflation data, all coming out next week and more. There's honestly much more as well. Jolt's job report comes out on Tuesday. And so we honestly got a whole bunch of stuff coming out next week. It's very busy. Look at a Tesla spike. Is this a real candle for Tesla? Because it's not really moving. It could just be. It is. Look at Tesla. Tesla just went slightly green on the day. Let me see if we got any breaking news for Tesla here. Elon came out this morning saying a $20 trillion valuation is possible for Tesla, even with the second quarter earnings show sales revenue declines. Extreme execution is needed, he says. But Tesla just spiked all the way up to that previous closing price. Again, we do have durable good orders today. Yeah, I heard about Hulk's passing. Rest in peace, But I don't really watch wrestling anymore. I was really into wrestling when I was like 5th grade, 6th grade. I was into wrestling. I had the wrestling N64 game. I went to even I was into WCW though. Like I was into the WCW when I was like 10, 11. And so my favorite person was Sting. So yeah, very sad. We had Ozzy a couple days ago. Now we got Hulk. It's sad. Uber just made a big investment in its robo-taxi future. Talked to Lucid, an autonomous vehicle startup. Neuro is going to help the company more control its destiny as the world slowly shifts to robo-taxis. It's a bold move. Yeah. Yeah, so after regarding yesterday, and again, we showed the video of the president and Powell. The president essentially said the cost of the renovation ballooned to $3.1 billion. Powell said, no, you added in a third building. it's not new. The two buildings under scrutiny are the Mariner Eccles and the second building known as the Federal Reserve Board East building. Still $2.5 billion in renovations. I mean, yeah, and again, you can kind of see them fight. You can see they, like, again, one of the things I saw, they just do not like each other at all. Like, look at these guys. Like, they do not like each other.
A lot. So the 2.7 is now 3.1.
I'm not aware of that.
Yeah, it just came out.
Yeah, I haven't heard that from anybody at the Fed.
It just came out.
Tesla pushing up on the right side. Look at Tesla up here. But these guys do not like each other.
3.1.
You can tell Powell is noticeably, like,
Yes.
frustrated.
I don't know who does that.
You're including the Martin renovation. You just added. Yeah, you just added in a third building is what that is.
So, I think it's a very funny video. They're like an old married couple. I'm not picking sides. I'm neutral on all this stuff. Yeah, rest in peace to Malcolm Jamal Warner too. That's sad. I used to watch the Cosby Show when I was younger. It would mostly come on late, but I would watch it. I'd also watch. I liked a lot of old. I used to watch a lot of old shows that would come on late at night. But yeah, that's sad too, man. I'm trying to see how that happened. You got caught in a rip current. See, my wife always worries about rip currents too. All right, so Tesla is telling staff it plans to roll out its robo-taxi service in San Francisco this weekend. That's probably what's propelling Tesla higher. So, okay, so Tesla rolling out their robo-taxi service in Austin this weekend is the news that I'm hearing that is driving Tesla higher this morning. You can kind of see it right here. So that is what's going on with Tesla. That's propelling it higher. That's what's causing Tesla to pop up. Oh yeah, they probably are, you know. They want to look like they're supervising. Both of these guys want to look like they're supervising things. They're like, hey, we're supervising stuff, you know. Like that's what's going on. Yeah, so now they allowed rankings for chat. All right, we got 400 people here already. We got durable good orders today as well. So All right, guys. So yeah, we got Powell drama today from the president. Again, look. I've said it once and I'll say it again. I do not think Powell is going to be fired. I don't think Powell is going to step down even. I think we're going to see Powell finish his term in less than a year in May of next year in 2026. That's what I think is going to happen. Powell's going to finish his term in May. And that's it. And I think these interactions, as awkward as they are kind of like showing that, right? Like, I think these interactions, like, they're willing to get in the same room with each other and talk. I don't think, I think the president wants them to cut rates. Yeah, Tesla green on the day at 307. But yeah, I don't think Powell's getting fired or anything like that. And I've been saying this for weeks now, and it's looking more and more like that's the case. Like, I don't think Powell's gonna finish his term. Well, he's not just nervous with 20 cameras. He's nervous because he's in front of somebody who has been incredibly critical of him. If somebody is like hypercritical of you and then you got to sit in front of him and talk to him for 5 to 10 minutes, you might be a little nervous or awkward. I think, I don't really hold that against them. Yeah. Yeah, president said yesterday he's not going to fire Jerome Powell. He's going to finish his term. Right, 100%. And yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty obvious, So. Yeah, so I'm looking at some other news that's come out, but we did have earnings show up this morning. I'll show you guys the earnings. Now, today's earnings reports were a lot less green than some of the other ones we've had for the rest of this week. If we take a look at the Earnings Whisper site, and again, I'm looking at the site Earnings Whisper, which is a good site, but 68 consensus estimate for CNC, they posted negative 16 cent EPS. HCA 684 versus 619. Beat on revenue though. A bunch of other companies here. These are all the main ones. But mixed results this morning for sure, especially in terms of margins. Like, a lot of EPS profits were below expected for EPS profits. Nasdaq's flattening out too. I mean, we're not really moving a lot here on the NQ this morning. You think we're going lower in Bitcoin? I think Bitcoin's already down. One of the biggest stories for finance today is that Bitcoin is dropping. Bitcoin down to 117,000 from the 120s that it was at earlier this week and earlier last week. All right, so far this week, I'm seeing this post by Bloomberg. So far this week, the S&P has ended every day at a new high. Every single day at a new high. Let's put the SPY up here. Every single day at a new high. You can see the new high yesterday was at 636. Financial juiced. In a poll, nearly 90% of economists have 89 out of 100 say they are concerned about the quality of the U.S. economic data, including 41 saying they are very concerned. Yeah, so futures are up slightly today as well, but we got durable good orders at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Now we're gonna stream live as we always do, but yeah, we got durable goods 8:30. We'll cover it. I mean, like we always do. So NASDAQ still trending down. I would say this is a slightly bearish trend. Tesla popped up on the announced the launch of robo-taxis in San Fran this weekend. Well, do your thing, brother. Bitcoin is going back to 80,000. People sell all their crypto. Sold XRP at 357s. I mean, I'm generally pretty bullish in Bitcoin, but I've always said I have no idea what Bitcoin's doing short term. Bitcoin can do freaking anything short term. Bitcoin can do anything short term. All right, so Bitcoin can go up, down, sideways. We really have no idea what Bitcoin's going to do short term. Looking at our poll numbers, we asked people, are you bullish or bearish on today's market? 59% are bullish, 41% are bearish. What's up, Pew? Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff with somebody say why are world markets down. There's been a strong week, but it's lost momentum. So after rallying on good trade talks and optimism around AI, markets have kind of turned cautious. The week craters out with lackluster corporate results, and again today's earnings were kind of down. They weren't really good. Some were green, but like an example is like the last few days, most of the earnings that come out in the morning were mostly positive. Like mostly beats almost everywhere, right? Today is a little bit different. Today we're not really seeing as many green. There's a lot of misses for like margins and EPS. And so like again, CNC, HCA, more dropped earnings, a lot of misses and margins. Charter also missed EPS margins. EAF missed margins. CRI, Carter's, Flagstar Financial missed margins. Other companies to report. Look at the NASDAQ breakdown. Let's watch this 360 level on the NASDAQ. I want to see if this 360 level holds. ACA, and Booz Allen reported. Phillips. Yeah, we had First Citizens, First Hawaii Bank also drop. Again, we post a snapshot from Earnings Whisper every day on our X.com page. Give me a follow on X.com at Beginner Trades chat. At Beginner Trades, great way to help support the channel. We do this every earnings season. It's something we've been doing. Wait, is next week a holiday? No. Wait. No federal holidays next week. Okay, so it's the first Sunday. It's the first Monday in September is Labor Day. So that's. I was thinking it maybe was the August 1st, but we got too much stuff coming out on August 1st. You know. Currently on a 1 week chart, Bitcoin is down 2.12% and SPY is barely up 0.8%. Not a lot of action here, folks. Yeah, it's Friday. We ain't got no job and we ain't got ish to do but watch stock charts and stuff like that. All right, let's see if we can maybe find some trades this morning. I wanted to buy this level here and we bounced exactly at this level. See, I wanted this level. I talked about this 360 level, chat. Remember, what did I say? I said, watch this 360 level. That's exactly where we bounced. We bounced from 360 all the way up to a couple ticks. Exactly at this 360 level. I really got to start going with my levels, though, man. Even if they're just small scalps. I think if I play the regular NQ on my levels, look at that bounce. Look. I said it 2, 3, 4 minutes ago before we even tested this level, man. I got to start trusting my levels here. Look at that bounce. So this is like a 10 tick bounce now. I just missed it. I tried to load my trading up before, but it's all good. Yeah, I don't know if he's claiming. I mean, I don't think he's going to fire him. I don't think he's ever necessarily directly claimed he was going to fire him. I think he has been openly very critical. And I think the only situation where we would see Powell resign, I don't think he's ever going to get straight up fired. The only situation where we see Powell literally like end his term early, there's a very specific scenario in which we might see that. The scenario in which we might see that looks something like, if inflation is low, the economy turns weak and we almost enter a recession, or do enter a recession before Powell's term is up. That is a situation, which I don't necessarily think we're going to do, but that is a situation in which not just the president, but a lot of people are going to be very critical of Powell, because the whole point of the Federal Reserve is to avoid that by reducing interest rates prior to the risk of that happening. Right now, we don't necessarily see the risks of that happening right now. And that's what I've been trying to tell people, is like, we don't really see risks to a recession right now. You know, there's so much political stuff going on because last year was an election year, and, you know, the president wants low rates and all this stuff, and I get it. But we don't really have a risk of a recession right now. And again, you'll see it next week in GDP. Like next week when second quarter GDP comes out, you'll see we're positive. You know, we're not going to be negative next week. And if we are negative, the market's going to turn. And that might be a situation where there's more pressure, but I just don't think we're there. And we also need, we need almost entering a recession, and we need inflation stability. So we need low PCE inflation next Thursday. I believe PCE comes out. I think payrolls come out Friday. We need low PCE inflation Thursday. And yeah, that's kind of where we're at. But I don't think that's going to happen, just to clarify. All right, so we tested this 360 level in the NASDAQ. We're still watching it. SPY broke all-time highs again this morning, 636.50, new all-time highs. Tesla rebounding back up after announcing that they're going to be doing rolling out the robo-taxi service in San Fran this weekend. And remember, we got durable good orders. Yeah, I don't think he's firing Powell. I don't think he's ever actually said that either. But I think he's been very, very critical. He's also drafted a letter. I mean, look. Okay. I'm just covering the news. I'm not really sided with anybody here. I see people sometimes arguing about this stuff in chat. I'm very neutral on all this stuff, guys. It's just not really something that I'm going to argue with anybody about necessarily. I might have a conversation with people, but I'm not going to argue. The president did draft a letter asking for opinions on whether he should pressure Powell to step down. The outcome of that was mostly the president saying, no, I'm probably not going to let Powell go. I'll probably let him finish his term. His term ends in May, and then we can figure it out, you know. But that's about as close as he's come to, you know. There were rumors or whispers about that, but we haven't had any direct quotes from him. Yeah, it's all noise right now, is what I'm saying. Like, there's rumors, whispers of that going on. All right, so, and again, we'll see what happens. 70,000 feasible on the SPY by end of year. I mean, of course not. Maybe 7K. 7K is possible by the end of the year. If the market continues to push up, 7,000 is possible. I mean, we're at 64 right now, so that's $600 away on the S&P 500. I mean, it's possible. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's possible. All right, so Business Insider reported that Tesla staff plan to roll out robo-taxi service in San Fran this weekend. We covered that earlier. We did have Brazilian data. In 30 minutes, we got durable good orders going live, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time for durable goods. We got Tesla still moving up. Tesla was red prior to this news coming out about the robo-taxi in San Fran rollout. But since that news came out, you can see Tesla is actually popping up now, and it's up to all the way up to 308 now. So technically green on the day. Here's the previous closing price. Tesla now well over that after this robo-taxi news showed up. No, this is a fine argument. I mean, not argument. This is a fine conversation. I'm very neutral anyway. I'm just covering. All I'm doing is covering what actually happened. And again, I've said it once, I'll say it again. He's not going to lay off Powell. The only situation in which he would be if we see recession or depression risks within the next 8 months. And even still, I think the closer, I've said this before multiple times, the closer we get to May 2026, the less likely it is. They're not going to, he's not going to step down 2 months before his term ends. That's ridiculous, All right, NVIDIA pulling back a little bit right now, though. So let's take a look at NVIDIA here. All right, we're at 173s now for NVIDIA. Hit highs at 174.50, all-time highs. All right, so MicroStrategy just announced the pricing of the IPO of STRC stock at $90 a share to price 28 million shares. The settlement is on July 29th, which is the Tuesday of next week. What's the chance Tesla's going to have supercomputers and AI? High, I would say. Yeah, my wife doesn't want me to get a Tesla because of that specific reason, Nick. Like, I probably would have bought a Tesla by now if it wasn't for that specific reason. It's hard to tell whether it's just like somebody putting out scary stories of it, but yeah, it seems like a reasonable worry. But all right, so we're under 173s. What's up, Sam? Yeah, I've never had a car that happen to me. I've had some crappy cars too, dude. Like, I've had some crappy cars. Like, my dad bought me a car when I was 16. 17. But, I'm a guy, so my dad would just buy me the crappiest cars. And then I would have to fix them if they broke, and which is fine. I'm okay with that. It's probably for the best. I remember one time I was driving, it must have been like an Explorer. It was nice. Like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate any car I had when I was young that my parents got me. But I remember I drove once to Baton Rouge from Houston, and I got a flat tire on the Atchafalaya Bridge. If anybody's from Louisiana and knows like Baton Rouge, the Atchafalaya Bridge is like this big 30-mile stretch of like a bridge, kind of highway bridge, 20-something mile stretch of it. I got a flat tire. Actually, I got a flat tire in Beaumont first. So I got out and I put the donut on and I changed the tire off the interstate. And then I was trying to make it home. I got on the Atchafalaya Bridge. I got another flat tire in the donut. The donut went flat then, and I had to basically sit on the side of the road. It was a mess. But I've never had an EV. Yeah, no, I'm not necessarily against it, stone cold. Like, again, it's hard to tell whether it's legit or not, the news. So Japan has their rate decision next week. We're still looking at 360s here on the NQ. Nvidia fell. Google's up a little bit today, but fell down a lot yesterday. Tesla up this morning again on robo-taxi and San Fran news. Yeah. All right, Microsoft. I'm looking at Microsoft this morning. Microsoft up to 512s, almost 513s. Yeah, no, they don't look like they get along at all. Yeah, they just don't look like they get along at all there, man. Hey, what's up, Rusty? Yeah, man. All right, we're at 360s. Yeah, well, like, new cars have this really interesting thing in them where if you turn them off, right? If you turn a new car, new cars have this weird thing in them where when you sit at a red light, sometimes the car itself will automatically cut off, and then when you hit the gas, it'll turn back on and drive. And this is supposed to like save you a small amount, like make the car more fuel, savings or whatever it is. But from somebody that's had bad fuel filters on their cars and bad starters on their cars, it's a little bit traumatizing. Like, I have PTSD from sitting at a red light sometimes and my car not starting. And so I don't like it at all. I always try to turn it off in the cars we have because I don't like sitting at a stoplight and having my car go off, I just worried, hey, I don't feel like getting stuck at the stoplight and having everybody mad at me. But I think it's a new car thing. Again, it's supposed to save on fuel, so a small amount. I can't remember what the actual feature is called, but yeah. All right, guys. Hey, we got 22 minutes. We got durable good orders going live. 22 minutes. Yeah. No, 100%, guys. I hate this thing. I turn it off. And the problem is that a couple of the cars we have, it's automatic. When you turn the car on, it automatically turns that feature on. And I freaking hate excuse me. I freaking hate that feature. It's dumb. I don't want my car to turn off at a red light. Again, I've driven enough crappy cars to where I got a little PTSD from it. I don't feel like having my car die at a red light, Anyways, we're down under 360s for a split second. We're still testing this 360 level. Market's incredibly flat right now. Google up today, though. Google is green on the day. Tesla's green. Nvidia, in terms of where the previous closing price is red, slightly red on the day. 173.74 is the previous close for Nvidia. So we're pretty red on Nvidia. Some other blue chip stocks. Apple, green. Microsoft, pretty green. Meta, green. Netflix is green. Amazon is green. Almost everything's green except for Nvidia. AMD is slightly red as well. So microchips are down, but everything else is doing okay in terms of the Mag 7 stocks. Next week, we got a whole bunch of stuff. NASDAQ slightly down, but we're honestly very flat. We're very flat today. The SPY, again, broke all-time highs this morning this was late last night. Late last night, SPY broke all-time highs in the after-hour session. In the NASDAQ, this $23,360 level is continuing to hold support. Again, we talked about this level way up here when we were at 370s and 372s. We had this level drawn, and look at the support this level shown. So, again, I don't really attack the retest. I was trying to catch it the first time on this bounce here, but I'm not really going to attack the second test because sometimes that's when it actually breaks down. So because of that, I'm just going to wait here, and we'll sit tight. Yeah, it's Friday. We got 20 minutes before durable good orders. We'll see what that shows up. Durable goods might be good. We'll see. I don't think the report's going to be big, to be honest. We don't really have like a major report today, to be honest. It's all pretty slow. We had a lot of stuff yesterday, but yeah, we got core durable goods. That's basically it today. All right, let's see if we can get underneath that. We got 350 underneath us, and we got a lot of support. Honestly, a bunch of confirmations at like 55 or 56 here. But I'm looking at 350 below us right here. That's the level we're going to be watching. But again, we're struggling to get under 360s here. You can see 360 level still holding pretty firm in the NASDAQ. NVIDIA has been fading down a little bit. One of the interesting levels on NVIDIA is this. We have this level on the chart. It's one of the previous all-time highs. It's 172.87 or so. We're at 173, so that's a big level that might hold support for NVIDIA. I'm thinking about buying this. Should I buy this, chat? You know what? We'll try. It's still early, but we'll try. Yeah, where's meme stocks right now? GameStop's still at 23, so it doesn't look like it's moved at all. AMC's still doing nothing as well. KOSS down yesterday, but there's almost no liquidity on these things. So even though people are acting like we've got some big meme run, what other meme stocks are running, guys? Let me know. I don't really see anything. I also see that China Renaissance downgrades Tesla to a hold rating, announces 350 price target. Like, I don't mind sitting in this and letting it work a little bit, but I'm not the most confident here. It's small, and the range is small, luckily, so it doesn't matter too much either way. We just don't really have any, you know. Yeah, 90 economists, 89 out of 100. We posted this on our X page when it came out, but 90 economists, or nearly 90% of the economists in a poll, 89 out of 100, so that's 89%, say they are concerned about the quality of the official U.S. economic data, including 41 saying they are very concerned. And we'll see. We'll see. All-time highs today. Yeah, the SPY. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that people try to predict what AMC and GameStop are going to do. A lot of it's just confirmation bias that I notice. Like, a lot of this stuff is just confirmation bias. It's just people that go way too big into some of these meme stocks. They dream they're going to rip up, and then they just don't. And again, my channel got big covering meme stocks to a certain extent. Like, the first 1,000+ person stream we ever did was when AMC... when GameStop originally ran. But the problem is that they've lost. I've seen the interest in these things change. Like, even Roaring Kitty posted. He made some. What is this? Even Rory Kitty posting doesn't really do anything to GameStop anymore. They've diluted it. So. Look at it. I don't know if this is just a random order getting filled and in the next 8 seconds it's going to pop back up. That's what I think is happening here, but you got to watch this here. How does that not scream rate cuts? Well, honestly, they're not really saying which data they're looking at. Like, from somebody that covers all the economic reports. I've watched all of it. Yesterday we had jobless claims lower than expected, showing a stronger labor market than expected. We've had a lot of economic data. We've had a lot of economic data. All right, we're going to go ahead and cut this. we've had a lot of economic data that has come out stronger than expected, not weaker than expected. And so the only problem I have with this poll is what data shows weakness. And again, I'm not saying I disagree. I'm really not. If you know the data that you think is weak, let me know and I'll talk about it. But let me know. Don't just say we're weak and we need rate cuts, but then not clarify what data is weak. Because they can poll the economists, but they got to reference the actual data that they think is weak. All right, we're gonna go ahead and cut this up 15 ticks. So nice little green day again so far. Yeah, it was a glitch. Like I said, we ended up just gapping right up afterwards. So it was a glitch. All right, guys. And yeah, guys, look at the NASDAQ. We did bounce exactly at that 360 level we talked about. We talked about this before the bounce happened, and 360 held. We got into one nice little trade. We'll see what the rest does here. We got into one good trade. Still bouncing here. And again, you can see Google. It looks like it was a glitch. Yeah, I was looking at that. I didn't know if it was a glitch on Google causing this move down or what. But look at this rebound here. I could have held it a little bit. But again, we got 11 minutes. We're also going to be having Money Mitch on today, I think. Let's check him on. I think I still have Zoom. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I gotta. All right, guys. Durable good orders in 10 minutes exactly. We'll see what that data looks like as it happens. Yeah, I gotta go. Forgot. Could be. All right, look at this rebound, man. Honestly, I'm still kind of mad I didn't buy this. I was looking at it. Have we really had not? We really haven't had any news that's come out in like 15, 20 minutes. No, usually we get some type of like breaking stuff. I'm trying to see. Okay, we're all the way up there. Stellantis appoints Giles Vittle. MicroStrategy announces the pricing of the STRC stock at $90 a share. All right. All right, still bouncing up. Do you guys think we go red on the day for the NASDAQ? I mean, we're close enough to agreed numbers. Durable good orders expected today. Core is expected at 0.1%. Regular is expected at negative 10.4%. So I'll put this data up on screen as well. Expected at 0.1%. Durable goods expected at negative 10.4%. Live here, 8:30. All right, so again, we got the expected numbers for durable goods, which comes out in 8 minutes or so. 8 minutes. The NASDAQ is rising up here. I should have held that firm with my trade, but it's okay. All right, let me see. We got 6 minutes left until durable goods. NASDAQ is big green candle on the NASDAQ showing up. Check it out, markets. I know I was in the NASDAQ. I didn't catch it. I mean, I'm green on the day, but I could have rode this up way more. You know, this is a 15 tick bounce. I think I actually made 15 ticks on it, though. So I must have... Yeah. 6,400 couldn't go this week. Yeah, a lot of people are asking, will the S&P hit 7,000? Okay. Yep. Sorry. All right, we're at 23,777. Hood now also trades in Robinhood futures. I'm failing. IDP data is fairly impenetrable to fixing that. GDP and trade balance, all the rest, who knows? Yeah. Yeah, that candle on this, it was a glitch though. Again, look at the NASDAQ rebound back up here. 360 held. Very sideways range though. When you zoom out and you look at the NQ, we're pretty flat and sideways. We're not really like super trendy this morning. Less than 5 minutes before durable goods. This week, Bitcoin got the good news. Hit 123 and then dropped to 115. Now edging the green around 0.66 on the day. Yeah. Again, always remember, guys, I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart. I can't guarantee anything. We got 4.5 minutes until durable goods. NVIDIA at 173s. So NVIDIA is bouncing back too. You know, this light green line right here is a previous all-time high we were looking at. Tesla's also rebounding back up. So let's watch the 200 exponential at 385. If we continue a choppy trend, that might be what holds. All right, guys, we got less than 4 minutes. All right, guys, we got 3.5 minutes left. Meta's back up to 717. Microsoft's green on the day. Apple's green on the day. The NASDAQ is, I think it's slightly red. Right? Let me see. Hold on. Let me look. The NASDAQ slightly red on the day. Previous closing price was 23,395. So right around here was the previous close on the NQ. We'll put this up right around here. That's the previous close, 395. 400 might be a level as well, though. All right, guys, we got less than 3 minutes. NASDAQ did bounce at 360s. I don't think it's going to have a huge impact, but we're going to cover it anyway, like we always do. All right, guys, 2 minutes. It might move markets a little bit, especially in a day like today where it's kind of slow. We'll see. Next week's going to obviously be much bigger with all the stuff. Trade deadline data, Fed decision, earnings, PCE, inflation, GDP data on Wednesday, non-farm employment on Wednesday, JOLTS job report on Tuesday, non-farm payrolls and unemployment on Friday, along with the deadline, tariff deadline. So it's going to be honestly a really busy week next week, which is good. We got a minute and a half left. All right, guys, about a minute left. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed. Yeah, sorry. We got about 45 seconds. I forgot to put the clock up for this one. It's not worth, you know. What if it does hit 7,000 in the S&P? I mean, markets will be going up. That's pretty standard for markets. Most of the time they go up. All right, guys, less than 30 seconds now. I don't know if this is going to move markets. We'll see. We'll cover it. We always cover it. All right, here we go. Less than 10. 3, 2, 1, and here's the report. See what we get. All right, there's the report. Is out. Durable goods showed negative 9.3 versus negative 10.4. All of it was stronger than expected. Core durable goods showed 0.2% month over month versus 0.1%. Regular durable goods month over month showed negative 9.3 versus negative 10.4 expected. Last time was a gain of 16.5%. So we did show negative durable good orders here. Again, I'll put this data up on screen. It is better than expected, though. So, like, here's the durable goods. It is better than expected. We could get a positive reaction from this. It was less negative than expected, although still negative. Again, negative 9.3 versus negative 10.4, 10.8 expected. So that's what we got for durable goods. Yeah, we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's the data we got right now. Let me All right, so Nvidia pushed it up a little bit as well here. Look at this. So we did react pretty positively to this. Slightly better than expected durable goods, although, again, we were negative. Yeah, and we'll see. And again, guys, if you haven't already, check out Top Step. Great way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose money. If you try to fund your own account, 5, 10, 20, 30 grand, you're probably going to lose. Let's just be honest here. Probably going to lose your whole account. Most traders do in the first few accounts they put up. And so it makes no sense to fund your own account in the beginning. You're probably just going to lose it. Almost everybody agrees that most day traders lose money. But day trading can be a good skill if you want to learn it. You just got to limit your risk. You got to hedge your risk. And the best way to do that is through Top Step. Top Step, the base one's $50 a month. The middle one's $100 a month. The base one, they give you a $50K funded account if you can make $3K in profit without losing $2K. So it's a reasonable ratio as well. If you can do that successfully while following their rules, and you want to confirm it all with them, I can't guarantee anything. They fund you $50K, 90% split, and prior to that split kicking in, you get to keep your first $10K in profit. No PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold. Patterns are very similar to blue chip stock patterns. And if you use their platform, TopStepX, you get zero commission. Again, no PDT rule. Just a great way to learn how to day trade. It's the best of both worlds. It's $50 a month risk, which is very small versus what most day traders end up risking. And if you pass the test, you get a 90% split, which is close enough to funding your own account to make it pretty worth it, in my opinion. Most day traders are going to lose anyway. It's a lot cheaper to lose on here when you're learning. And so if you want to check it out, they are an affiliate or sponsor of mine. I can't guarantee anything. Again, you want to confirm it all with them. Not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money, but you got to check them out. I'll put the link up at the top of the chat. Great way to help support the channel. I'll pin it to the top of the chat as well. There's the link in chat right now also. Understand all the stuff on screen. Sometimes I trade and lose off stream. You might not see it. I don't claim anything. Not an investment professional. With that said, durable good orders is causing somewhat higher markets here. We're at 23,385 right now, 23,385. Gold, on the other hand, we can take a look at gold. Gold, on the other hand, from this report, is breaking down. It rejected at the 200 exponential. It's starting to test lows of the day here for gold, which are around 33.3980 here, 33.3980. All right, so OPEC Plus panel is reportedly likely to keep oil policy steady on Monday, according to Reuters. All right, NVIDIA coming down a little bit. We're testing that 200 exponential. Like I said, let's watch 385s. Gold just broke lows of the day here on this report. Tesla propelling higher here, more optimism because of the robo-taxi launch in San Fran this weekend. Announcement came out earlier. Most stocks are reacting positively to this. Google's up, NVIDIA up. It's just ridiculous. Who buys a stock like NVIDIA or Palantir at these prices? I mean, what you're missing, I think, Hines, is this. Okay? The future of tech is AI. I think this is incredibly clear. Future of tech's AI. AI is already such a powerful technology. It's just like such a wild technology that when people buy companies like AI or like NVIDIA, when they buy AMD, when they buy Palantir, even though Palantir's PE ratio is kind of like it's high. Palantir's not up on fundamentals. But people buy these AI stocks because they understand the exponential growth of AI in the future. If you look at what AI has done in the last 2 years, really since it came out, and then you extrapolate that over a 20+ year period, that's some pretty freaking crazy growth. You know, that's some pretty crazy growth. And so with that crazy growth is going to become a lot of gains and a lot of stuff. I'm not saying NVIDIA is going to go up. I have no idea. Not an investment professional. I genuinely don't know. But that's why people buy these stocks. It doesn't necessarily have to do with current fundamentals. It doesn't necessarily have to do with current PE ratios or margins or revenue. It has to do with future outlook for AI companies and chips. And if AI grows in that exponential way, like a lot of people, including myself, think it will, there's money to be made in the stock market, you know. And so I think you gotta, you're looking at it too one-dimensionally. And I get it. I think a lot of people missed out on the last AI boom we saw. There's Mitch. Let me see if I can get it. What's up, Mitch? Are you there? Sorry, Mitch. I'm learning how to do Zoom. It's been a while. Last time I did Zoom was probably with you, Mitch, if you can hear me. Let me see if it makes me let you in. Hold on. Oh. Okay. There he is. What's up, Mitch? Sorry, bro. The last time I used Zoom was with you, bro. How you doing, man? Can you hear me? Nope, can't hear you. Hold on. Let me see if there's a... I see no... It says you're not muted, and I can see your audio working here. Hold on. Let me figure out what source you're coming out of. Oh, okay. I got you. I'll fix this.
1, 2, 3, 1.
There you are. There you are. You're in here, bro. You're in here. Hold
What's
on.
up, bro? What's up?
Look, I'm gonna stick you right here at the bottom of the screen. What's up, dude?
What's
How you
going
doing, brother?
on, man? How we
Doing good, man. Doing good, bro. Market honestly has been a little weird this week. S&P's been breaking all-time highs every day, including late last night. The S&P broke all-time highs. Powell and the president beefing. You know, they hate each other. They're like an old married couple.
Someone didn't tell Jerome, blink twice if you're okay. Do we need to come save you? Because it seemed like that was a hostage video yesterday.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. They look like they freaking hate each other, brother. Like Powell does not look happy. President doesn't like him. Let me know.
Older.
Oh, he
I felt
did.
Like Jerome looked older.
Well, you know, like being a public figure, especially in politics or anything related to it. While Fed's not politics, but it's close enough. Just being a public figure, you see it age like presidents. You see it age politicians. Like, yeah. Dude. Let me know if y'all can hear Mitch. Y'all should be able to hear him. Hold on. Let me mute the music. Okay, say something, Mitch.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Oh yeah, you're good. They can hear you. All right. There we go.
There you go. I got the chat up also there, guys. So if you guys have any stocks you guys want to take a look at, if you guys are into the stocks life, we can talk about those. Seeing people talking about Palantir, Hood, Tesla in the chat there.
Yeah, well, we were just having a conversation about AI. Somebody said, somebody said that he doesn't know how people are buying stocks like Nvidia at these prices. And my argument that I just had was that they're not looking at current fundamentals. They're looking at the potential future growth of AI. If you look at AI over the next 20 plus years and you look at what it's done in the last 2, it's going to be crazy in the next 20. And that's a lot of growth. That's a lot of money to be made in stocks around those companies, most likely, but you never freaking know, man. The PE ratios are still pretty high, but yeah.
I cranked up a little bit there. They said that I was a little low, so maybe that'll help a little bit. But yeah, I agree. I mean, I know it's tough to trade stocks at unreasonable evaluations, but you got to understand the way that things work, right? So when stocks are really booming, guess what? You're going to find unreasonable evaluations, right? Because that's just the way it works, right? Because 100%. The truth is like you said, people are buying the growth story. So a lot of times when stocks want to run, they got to have what's called story, right? I used to always talk about this. Look for the story.
Investor, huh?
Story investor, right? You got to understand the story first, because that's going to lead you to what? Themes, really. That's what I really got to. It's a theme-focused trade. And right now, you're starting to see it go back in. Why? Because the focus has gone towards a softening stance towards China and AI chips. And so if the focus is just to push AI and make money, well, then both countries can actually do pretty well in that stance, right? Because Trump can relieve a lot of the export controls right now that are pressuring China and their AI. And how he can relieve that is he can say that that was a Biden administration implementation of export controls that were done wrong, and we're going to fix them. Really? Right. Just playing nice, right? That's sure. Why I think what you're seeing right now is the expectation of a China deal coming soon.
Exactly.
And why? And that's why you're seeing this boom in AI stocks. And if you really pay attention to the small details of what I really love doing, guys, is when I read news, right, out there, pay attention to the small things. In the last China conversation, right there in articles written by CNBC and Reuters was a small comments, and there were maybe a sentence or two that export controls were being talked about in the negotiation. But then now you're seeing more and more talk coming in rhetoric from Trump that he's willing to take softening stance on those. What is that? He's playing nice, guys.
He wants to get a deal done. Like, that's what he wants. He wants a deal, you know?
And he's doing it publicly, which is
100%.
normally not what he does, right? Normally he'd do that privately and be like, well, I'm going to do this, underneath the rug. We're going to do this and this. But he's doing it publicly. So he's doing it in the media so that China can clearly see it that he's playing nice, right?
Right. Pushing deregulation, 100%, you know? And that's good.
1000%.
And that's good for AI until AI takes over the world, right? Like, that's good for AI.
Yeah. In the long run, what it does is it creates bubble environments. And bubble environments, because of the .com like era and the breaking of bubbles, people get scared when they hear bubbles. But I've learned that you can't get scared. Why get scared of a bubble? If anything, let's ride the bubble. Let's go make some money. Because the bubbles don't last forever. And that's times when you can actually make money, and you can't be so scared on risk. Risk
100%.
is all about being scared in moments when things are going against you. But when things are working in your favor, you need to be able to put a gas pedal on. This is what a lot of investors ruin, because they just take so many trades out there that they lose so much that their mentality just goes whoop, into the trash.
You got to be fearful when others are greedy. Warren Buffett said it the best: fearful when others are greedy, greedy when others are fearful. If the market's crashing, the people who do the worst are typically people that get nervous and sell. When the market's crashing, the people who do the best are generally people that are like, hey, this is discounts. These are discounts right now. Let me buy this up, you know. And we do get a correction sometimes. So, yeah.
So you guys know how I am. I'm always on themes, guys. And I think that that's the most important thing I can give you guys, at least for like edge in the markets. Whether you're trading Forex, whether you're trading, stocks, you got to find certain themes, certain styles, or it's maybe monetary policy or fiscal policy that you're really following with. And then that's how you're trading a little bit more, because that's going to keep you more in that longer term basket where, you might mess up a stock once, but if you're in the right theme, like let's say nuclear in the last couple of months, right? Well, at some point you probably got a good bullish breakout, right? And so it's about risk and return in that sense, but it's about being in the probability of being in the right areas. If you can be in the right areas, the time itself being in those areas should get you to the success, right?
What do you think about quantum stocks, Mitch? That's a good combo.
So, I was one of the early ones on quantum stocks, right?
Yep.
Not because I was calling quantum stocks to break out, but I interviewed IonQ, right? If you guys don't remember what IonQ is, right? I mean, we're talking back in the SPACs attack days.
Man.
And
I heard that might be coming back too. I've seen some. I've seen your
SPACs
posts
are
on X.
back.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, SPACs are back. They're coming back. And what is that showing us, though? And it's a good sign. That's venture capitalist money and private money that wants to come to investments. So that tells us that the spending out there in the business cycle can continue moving forward. Right. And so this is why some people are going to say the market should come down here. It's overbought. It's going to come down.
Right.
It doesn't need to, guys. That's the way the market works. And
market goes up. Yeah.
It'll just keep going. It'll just keep going and going. And you'll be like, but it's supposed to go down.
Yeah. It's not supposed to do anything. I always tell people, like, look, there's a reason I don't short the healthiest companies in the world. I don't short Mag 7 almost ever. If I do short them, they're, pun intended, very short term, because the longer you hold a short position in blue chips, a lot of the time, the less likely you are to make money. The longer with some exceptions, there are some exceptions, the longer you hold a long position, the more likely it is you make money. In blue chips specifically, this is not everything else. Everything else is different. But and this is generalized too. There's always outliers, and there's always opportunities to make money on either side. So.
Well, I can at least give you guys a swing trade that I'm already in. I'm in APLD. I got about 400 shares from 1101. If you want, I could share screen too.
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Yeah, go ahead.
That up
here, let me make sure. Let me make sure. It's been a while since I used Zoom.
Yeah. So let me get the share ready here. I'll send the request at least.
Okay, yeah. I think I got you. Yeah. Okay, so I accepted it, I think.
All right,
okay, so yeah, you can share it. Go ahead and share.
Now.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Let me.
You guys have my screen at least.
Okay, here, hold on. Let me put this up now so they can see it. Hold on. Let me fix my OBS real quick. Hold on.
No worries, guys. And I'll
Okay,
make
you're
the
in there.
charts.
You're in there.
All right,
Yeah.
there you go. You guys see my whole, this is like my main screen, guys. I do have like an execution screen underneath, but this is like my main screen. And you know how I'm all about TC 2000.
Oh, yeah, bro.
John. And there's a big reason why, guys. I work a lot of backwards, right? I'm always looking at sectors and working my way from the open, paying attention what's doing well from the open so I can catch rotations, then looking at industries, which would be this box, and then working to stocks, which is over here. And I think that that's the best way that I've learned how to work trades, guys, because if I can find the right area that's hot, well, then you can find the right stocks that are hot there. Right? And that's the way that stocks really work, guys. I can tell you that because that's how the algos work. So I started to think more and more, why not trade like algos? I need to be trading like them. I need to be doing types of things that they do because there's a reason why they're trained to do these things, right? And I think that that's the way you should be thinking about things. But this APLD trade's looking really good. I always like stocks that have an ability to come back to 9 EMAs after a quick breakout like this. This was a quick breakout, right? Wasn't expecting it, and then it gapped, went really high towards 12. When you get these pullbacks towards the 9, they're really good opportunities, especially when you see wicks through and recovery. Like I always say, wicks are tricks and tricks are for kids. We learned that one really early on. Right. And you're looking for moves like this, right? So yesterday I got long this at 11. I've already traded this actually through this breakout and I sold it on the rip. Now I'm buying it back really near the levels where I saw the breakout happen. That's another thing. If you watch stocks often, you'll know where the breakout level was because I was literally watching it when it broke out. So this one's a really nice one here, APLD. I'd be looking to see if this can get back there towards 12 today. That's where I would be selling it. Now you could keep this as a swing and maybe look for a trend line approach and then see if it can break higher. I always call these like trend line approaches where I'm looking for the stock to go towards the trend line. It doesn't need to break out above the trend line, but just knowing where the trend line is can give you really good price targets to get in a trade with a swing, and then you're selling it on the resistance versus selling it on continuation, where a lot of traders like to look for.
Right. That makes sense.
They go and buy it at 12, and they're looking for 13, versus what I'm looking for, which is get it to that trader, and then I'm going to sell it to him. I'm going to be like, here you go, man. You can have it now. You could take it for a spin, and then we can get it.
This is exactly like I talk about this thing too when I day trade futures, right? Like a lot of the time you get traders, they jump in at the high of the days. They jump in at the high of the days.
Exactly.
I'm not buying it at the high of the days. I'm buying it, 30 ticks down from the high of the days when everybody starts to get excited about the highs of the days, and I'm riding it up to that level, and then I'm taking it and I'm saying, hey trader, you take this now. Like I don't want the high of the days. I want that range because I think that's a more probable bet. And so what you said just made perfect sense. Right,
100%. And then what that gives you is that you got to realize that continuation trades don't happen often, yet we all look for them. Why are we looking for something that isn't happening? There's
Everybody
a reason
wants
why.
the breakout.
We want the greediness. That's greed that you're searching for. And so understand, is your strategy greedy itself? If it's a greedy strategy, the odds are you're probably going to get it 10% of the time. And so if you can be profitable at 10%, then you're fine, right? But there's not many traders that can have a risk to return, let's say a 1 to 10, so that you could be profitable at a 10% accuracy, right?
That's right.
And so think about trades like that. And what I've been telling traders more often now is when you look at patterns, don't think about them in the pattern shape, like I need to buy here, sell here, resistance, support. Start thinking about them more and more of where's the psychology in the pattern? So where are the buyers selling? Where are the buyers coming in? Where should the buyers be selling, right? Where would the ads be? Those types of mentalities are going to really help you, because then you can look for moments like this where buyers came in here, it broke out, right? And then this day was the day that they got stopped out a lot, because they bought here at 1050, and then this day it went to 1035, they got undercut. So you understood that the buyers were around the 1050, 211, then now are getting undercut they're getting stopped out, which causes that wash effect, the wick. Wicks are tricks. And then
100%.
it comes back on that day and it washed them out. And now look at the price action. Higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. So these are the types of things that I talk about that I think you can really gain something. So you look at the pattern. It's okay to understand patterns, but then think about it in the psychology sense.
Right. 100% agree. 100% agree. And I think that's a great nuance of everything going on with how to approach different things. Everybody wants that greedy breakout. You know what I mean? Like everybody wants it. I'll put my screen back up real quick, but everybody wants that breakout, right? And I think honestly, to a certain extent, it's not even anybody's fault here. Let me get this right. Hold on, let me fix my OBS. It's not even everybody's fault. This is kind of what we're trained to do really early on in trading, is attack those big momentum breakouts. It's the exciting thing. Everybody's jumping out of bed, looking to, let me get this breakout. Let me get that breakout. I think ranges and looking at trend ranges is much more probable bets, easier to make money on. And I always say a good example of this is a milestone level. Like when I day trade futures, I'm looking for a milestone level. Like the biggest milestone levels are all-time highs. And so if we can get close to all-time highs, it becomes pretty likely we're at least going to test it, especially if it's been months or longer since we've seen it. It becomes pretty probable. Magnet. Exactly. It's a magnet. It attracts it. Traders get interested in it. They buy it up. And sometimes we'll tap that all-time high level. Here, let me get you back up so they can see your face. Sometimes we'll attack that all-time high level and then just dump down, just big liquidity dump. Everybody starts taking profit right there. And so why would I ever attack those big breakouts? Sometimes we break them and we run and we keep running and we go up and up and up, and that's great. I wouldn't call it the most probable thing. I think a test of those levels become probable the closer we get and the longer that it's been since we've tested them. But it's just easier to make money attacking the range up to those milestone levels versus attacking the milestone level break itself, Yeah, and
you're just, at the end of the day, you got to be looking for sometimes the trade within the bigger trade. That's another thing, right? So the trade within the bigger trade, right? I don't mind going for bigger trades. I take swing trades all the time. You guys are seeing me take swing trades, right? On that APLD. But the key there is have targets and being able to take targets and then getting back in on the pullback, I think is very important. A lot of traders hold for long moves, then get stopped out. That's okay too, but realize at the end of the day, you're here to get paid. So you got to find where your kind of sweet spot is. So sometimes traders start trying to make, let's say 15, 30% trades, and they realize, I'm getting that maybe once every 3 months or something like that. And so what they need to do is maybe find a sweet spot. Maybe they take a lot of trades and they realize I keep going up 7 or 8%, but I don't get the 10% winner. Well, maybe 7% is the area that I need to start targeting. And then I adjust my risk based on my average returns, right? Because if you can understand your returns on what you normally make, this can actually help you in the math side of things start to adjust. So I started taking swings and I realized, man, I get these 10% moves all the time. But what happens is I start looking for 30%, right? And I get into the 20% often, don't get to the 30, and I get a little picky. So I started shifting up. I said, you know what? Especially with the accounts that I'm doing right now, I'm doing this eval with this APLD trade. I got a specific goal. So if I got a specific goal I need to reach, right, I'm going to take money when it's available to me. Now, on a longer term swing account, I'd still be going for more of that 7 to 10% swings. That's where I found my sweet spot, and I'll give you guys the insight at least on that, because I have a tendency of getting that a lot of times overnight, 5-6% overnight. Then I'm just looking for 3% in the intraday, and I'm cashing, right? Because if I can make 10% on a play, I can risk 2% or 1.5%. How many times? Pretty often. I can do it 5 times and still be break even, guys. So this is the way I started to think about things, especially in swing trades. You're going to be maybe 20%, right? 20% accurate, right? And that's the truth, especially trend trades, right? Like, let's say like an LEU. I saw you in the chat. Don't worry. We catch the chat. You know, we got skills like that. LEU, they wanted to talk about. You could put the chart up and I'll just make comments on it. Okay. This is a perfect example of what you call a momentum breakout stock, right? So this had the momentum breakout. The first breakout was towards 100. Then it pulled back to the 9 EMA, consolidation, right? It's okay to buy the rip, sell the rip, buy the dip. 9 EMA caught. It rips again there towards 136. It pulls back, 9 EMA holds again, and it goes into what's called the expansion move. If you guys look into Dow theory a lot, they look for like the first move. That was that first flag. Then a lot of times you'll go into that first pullback, which they consider the number 2. Then you get into your third move, right? You're talking waves. The third move is the big expansion. That's that big ride up that we get here from like 116 all the way up to 200. And now that pulled back and gave you another move higher. Now we're starting to definitely get towards the extended. As you get waves up, you can get waves down, right? So same thing, it works. So now you've gotten about 3 waves up and you're trying to make the 4th wave through 250. This is where it's going to get tough, because the truth is, as you keep getting these waves expansion, you can get quicker pullbacks. That's why the 250 to 210 came fast, right? So now what I'd be watching is just short-term moving averages to hold. If I'm already in this thing, let's say at 200, I'm feeling confident. As long as the 9 EMA can hold. For me, 9 EMA right now is all the way up towards 229.15. And you're going to get slight undercuts of the 9 EMA. So you can maybe use, if you want, you can use the 12 to if you need it to be like right on the bottom of that. But the 9 EMA is really good for using daily looks on momentum trades. It has to be a momentum trade, but this is a perfect example. You see how those dips are tricks to get out? All they're doing is just washing out buyers on those days. They know exactly where those buyers are. Why? Because they put out stops. And the stops are all in the same level. Where are they on the chart? You can almost
milestone levels, milestone psychological levels.
It's 220 right there. It's 220. And then buyers that stepped in on 220 that day, right at the open, where was their stop? Near 210. Where did the stock go to? Right to 210, right? It stopped them out too, and then came right back up.
That's what they want. They just take them out.
Trades. Yeah, they take them out. And you got to think about this as the psychology of the pattern, right? So the 9 EMA pullback is, let's go trap the buyers. It's not really get the shorters in. It's trap the buyers. Let's trap them. Let's stop them out, wash them.
Scare them.
There's usually a big buyer that steps back in, and it's smart. He sees this down action. He sees it stop at 210. And then you almost look at the tape. It was bid. And all of a sudden, it just starts to become offer. Yeah. This is the sign that I can give you guys that you can look for in the tape and really catch these kind of swings there on LEU. But
no, it makes sense.
Momentum play that's just holding the 9 EMA. As long as it can hold that, riding the wave.
Yeah, Sam from our chat, they say he's in at, what was he in at, $40? So if you're in at 40, that's a great entry. And this is a nuclear play, right, Mitch? So
yeah. So if you're in at 40, you're looking for target profits areas, right? And you can do what I would do is you can ride the wave with the 9 EMA. The day that it actually closes below the 9 EMA, or maybe you go even further out. If I'm in at 40, I'd move it to a medium term moving average, like a 50 or like a 20, right?
I like the 200.
Room.
I like the 200 personally. It's a little bit longer term.
On the daily, it's a little bit too far.
It's a little bit too longer term. On like a swing trade, like a 15-minute chart, I really like the 200. I like it on a 1 minute chart as well. Real quick, we got some breaking news come out. So U.S. OMB head Vault says the criticism of Fed's renovation is not about Chair Powell. It's about holding the Fed accountable in a CNBC interview. We also had the president just confirm he's going to meet with the UK Prime Minister Starmer today, and they're going to discuss the UK trade deal. I think the biggest looming deal is for European Union and China. They keep pushing back. He said he wasn't going to push back the deadline, but now China's deadline is the 12th of next month of August, the August 12th, I believe. So he did push it back again. Everybody else is going to, the deadline for everybody else is next Friday. And so, yeah, that breaking news just came out. We'll see what happens.
We'll see, man. It's interesting environments that we're trading, guys.
Yeah.
The short squeezes were interesting. I'm sure you caught some of those, at least the conversation, man. That was...
Yeah. Well, the market's just been... Yeah, I've heard about that. Like, there's GameStop. I was talking about this earlier. There's GameStop. There's KOSS. Headphones has been had a run like yesterday. It went all the way up to almost 850 because everybody was like, "Hey, meme stocks are running." I don't really cover them as much lately, just because I think they've lost a lot of hype and momentum. Man, I think even
it's not worth it.
Yeah, like Roaring Kitty posting doesn't really move GameStop anymore, right? And it was a big dynamic. Again, I credit them to helping me grow this channel a lot because I was streaming AMC GameStop squeezes back in 2021, but the interest for these meme stocks has just gotten lost. I think the problem is that people use them too much to try to grow a following online. So like you see too many social media posts about meme stocks putting out all these wild theories that are probably not true. All right, so the president just came out that said he would never say he wants a weaker currency, end quote. Again, I'm just covering this news that's coming out. But yeah, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with any of this.
Hey, that's all you can do, man. You can just deliver the news nowadays.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I try to do. We also have news coming out saying Tesla is reportedly behind the pace necessary to meet CEO Musk's goal of producing at least 5,000 of the Optimus humanoid robots in 2025, according to the information via sources. And so, yeah, man,
I like Tesla here, guys. I actually like Tesla here.
Yeah, Tesla, they came out this morning. They're up this morning. They were red. Negative reaction to their earnings report. They came out early this morning saying that they're going to debut robo-taxis in San Fran, which is one of the U.S.'s largest cities. That news propelled them higher.
Did you catch Trump's comment on Musk yesterday?
The only thing I remember commenting on him yesterday was that he wasn't trying to remove his credits. I think is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
He said that he wasn't trying to destroy Musk's companies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's trying to destroy him. I think he's just
that's already enough, right? Because
right.
he was already getting to the point where he was like, I'm going to start this America party.
Yeah.
And it did definitely ticked Trump off a lot, right?
Yeah.
But I think at this point, as long as he's not ticked off, and he has Jerome to go yell at, he's going to be okay, man.
Give him another target. Give him another target. Let him. He's beefing with Jerome right now, and he's going to beef with Jerome until Jerome starts cutting rates. And we've talked about this morning. I don't think Powell is going to step down or get fired or anything like that. He's too close to. He ends it in May next year. The only way we're going to see Powell step down is if we start to enter like a recession or a depression with with low inflation under his watch, right? Which I don't think is going to happen, but like. That's the only situation where we're going to see a renewed pressure for Powell to step down, where Powell might actually do it. Because in that situation, if Powell doesn't cut rates and we do enter a recession and depression, then a lot of the criticisms are going to be valid. But I don't think we're in that situation. GDP this quarter is expected to be, or last quarter is expected to be like, I can't remember. I think 2.3 is the last one I saw. So I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. And I'm seeing the chat, they're talking a little bit on some stocks here. I'm going to get going in just a little bit here, so we can just do a little bit of some rapid fire if the chat wants to. Let's do a little engagement here, guys. You guys out there, just drop stocks. I'll give you guys some quick levels or at least a quick look on what I'm seeing.
Yeah, go ahead, chat. Mention some stocks if you want to take a look at any symbols, really. Throw them up.
And then like always, guys, you guys can catch me. I'm a part of Trade the Pool. I do so many different things. I'm actually going to be going over to Stock Trader Network now and do some live trading. That's
nice.
The pre-market prep boys. I go to Trader TV.
Whoa.
I'm all over the place, guys.
Hold on. Look at this NASDAQ fall really quickly here. Look at that dip,
Jump
dude.
on that. Forget
Yeah, man. I don't know what's going on here. Let me see if I can find
something happened,
news.
man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's news. That's news related.
Okay, so the president just came out and said there's a 50-50 chance of making a deal with the European Union is what I'm seeing. A 50-50 chance of making a deal with the European Union. I'm pretty sure this is what's dropping markets. With the deadline next Friday, 50-50 chance of a deal with the European Union. I think the European Union is one of the biggest question marks right now in terms of the deadline next Friday. I think a lot of the other countries, some are just insignificant. European Union is not. That's a lot of different countries. That's a big group of countries there. And whether he can get a deal done with them is going to be really, really important. And so I think this news that there's a 50% chance, according to the president, that they don't get a deal done, I think that's scaring people right now. That's scaring people right now. But to go back to it, if you want to give Mitch a follow, on X.com, it is... Hold on, let me follow. I'll post the link up in the chat right now for you guys.
Yeah, and I'd be paying attention. These are going to be scares, right? And so at least for the Qs, I look at the Qs, not the NQ. But for me, that support right now, it makes sense for it to kind of come in towards the 560, 65s, undercut it, right? Come towards like 564, then come back today. So it just looks prime to do that, guys. Another thing is we keep getting these drives up towards resistance around 566 and pulling back. So pullbacks here don't look too bad. A wick there is nothing too bad, guys. As long as it's not like a huge collapse day, right? That's the day where you got to protect yourself on a collapse. These are just scares outs just to try to get you out of your bullish positions.
Yeah, look at this get balled up too. This just got balled up really fast too. Big red dip and then a big buy up here. Okay, so and then this might be what's causing it. So the president on Powell said he got the impression yesterday from Powell that he might be ready to lower rates. And so again, he got the impression from Fed Powell on Thursday that he may be ready to lower rates. I think this is a strategic comment by him trying to bring us back a little bit after the 50-50 EU news drop that he put out too. I think this is a strategic saying, hey, we might be. I don't think we're cutting next Wednesday, though. I don't think we're cutting next week. I think a cut next week is basically out the window right now. It's not happening. It's not happening. Yeah. But maybe, I think September is still 60% chance.
But to tell you the truth, it's actually smart that he's not cutting here, guys.
Yeah, inflation.
As much as... So Trump wants to cut because of his tax bill. That's the only reason he wants to cut. It's not because the cut is a good thing to do here. And I think that's one thing that we really need to establish there and understanding that part. And there's a reason why he wants his cut, because that affects what the government, borrowing costs, right? That side of things. But to tell you the truth, the Fed is giving themselves longer and more ammo by staying higher for longer. And we want a Fed that has ammo. That protects us in downside risk, right? So if we're in this gas pedal mode, because Trump is gas pedal focused, and I got no problem with him doing so, right? He can be gas pedal focused. We have a gas pedal focused president. Let's push on growth. What happens usually? There's always a retracement, right? So you want the Fed to have ammo to come back in to then cut interest rates when needed, not when you don't need it. If the market's going higher, making new highs, why cut?
Exactly. Well, it's not even the market. If the economy is positive, if jobless claims are lower, if the labor market is strong, they don't have justification to cut as easy. Now, they're supposed to be proactive around it, so they're supposed to cut before things get weak. But the argument by Fed Powell is going to be, where's the weak labor market? He's going to say, where's low unemployment? Or where's high unemployment? Where's the weak labor market? Where's negative GDP? Although we did have quarter one negative 0.5 GDP, but quarter two is not looking negative at all.
Until the tariff situation also is done, like completely done, and they know 100% these are the established, that's why Trump is also trying to be so hard on the deals, because he knows he needs that to end. Then the inflation outlook can maybe get hit down as we get these numbers to trickle in, because inflation takes a long time to show up.
It lags.
That's why Jerome's sitting on the sideline. He's like, I can't do nothing if I think inflation's coming.
Right.
It's coming.
Even if we're in a period like the last 5 years, right? You have to look at the nature of inflation is something I always tell the chat, which is that inflation doesn't go down. Once it goes up, you're stuck with that level. So if prices rise, they usually don't go down unless we're talking about like specifically food and energy. But if you look at core inflation, prices don't really go down. You look at CPI inflation, the only time prices actually go down is during deep recessions and depressions, and they usually come right back up. And so once you get high prices, a lot of the time you're stuck with them. In the last 5 years after 2020, after all the economic stimulus we saw in 2020, after the stimulus checks, after the lockdowns and supply chain problems of 2020, the QE of 2020, prices skyrocketed and went up, and people are still dealing with those high prices. And so Powell doesn't want to stimulate the economy more if we don't need to, right? Because what's that going to do? That might propel prices even higher, and then people are going to complain about that. And so it has to be balanced. And, I think you could probably argue a cut, but I don't think you could. I don't think it's super weighted to one side. I think what Powell's doing makes sense. And I know Trump wants strong GDP.
Yeah.
He wants to say, hey, look at 3.5% GDP under my watch. I get it, but I'm worried about inflation. I don't like inflation,
Yeah, and I think that it's important. I'm with you, Ryan Scott, in the chat. I would love for it to go down to 1% and we can go house buying, all of us. But the truth is it's probably not going to happen right now. And I think we just got to wait on the sideline for that situation to resolve itself, which is going to be what? Jerome just finishing out his term, right?
100%.
Because regardless if he gets fired, it's just going to go to courts, and it's going to take to the end of his term anyways. Because he's not going to be able to be removed immediately. He'll go to court and fight it back. He's a lawyer. He knows exactly what he needs to do.
Exactly.
So I think in this case, Trump is just trying to do what? He's trying to degrade his character, and he's going to continue doing so until his character's nothing.
Yes. Also,
that's his Jerome.
Just to throw this out there, Mitch, it gave me a 10-minute warning. Apparently, I have to upgrade Zoom.
Oh yeah, I got no worries.
I don't know. I don't know when
guys.
I don't know when it happened. So I don't.
Pulling the rug on Money Mitch, man.
The only thing I'm saying is I don't want it to just cut you off and then you disappear and it's like boom, you got to upgrade. I'll upgrade before next week. Mitch will be back on next week, guys. My bad, brother. My bad. Mitch is an OG here on this channel. Yeah. Hey, appreciate it. If y'all want to follow Mitch, I'm gonna put his link up in chat right now. Yeah, I'll put your link up right now, brother. I got you. But yeah, go ahead.
Right there, that's that beginner trading coin. We look at that, that's baby.
Right. He's an OG. He's an OG.
Beginner trading, baby.
Yeah, 100%.
Always, forever.
Hey, thank you, brother.
Guys enjoy it. Have a good one. Always reach out if you guys are looking for stock conversations. Always about it, man. We'll be back.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. I'll put your link up right now. Y'all go give this man a follow. Great content, great updates, great news, great stories. Just he's the right person to follow. I'll put the link up right now. Just a good dude. There's the link right there for Money Mitch in the chat. Yeah, I didn't know. I have to upgrade Zoom. I haven't used Zoom in years. And I just didn't want it to boot Mitch off. And, so I felt like I should give him a warning there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not getting into that, Blaze. Nah, Mitch and I have worked together so much throughout the years. For the last decade, we've worked together a lot. Just a good dude. Smart investor too, smart trader. Anyways, let's get back to the markets here. We got 15 minutes until the market opens. NASDAQ is still flat. We had this news about the EU deal. We did have the president come out that said we have the confines of a deal with China. So look, we did have this news just come out. Yeah, a lot of people said they appreciated Mitch coming on, so that's good. The president also said this here. He said the majority of deals will be done by August 1st. August 1st. Yeah, you can see. So Mitch said, take care. Two themes I like right now. Lithium, SQM, ALB, coal, BTU, and METC. Hey, thank you, brother. We have the whispers of a deal. Yeah. All right, so the president said on Canada it could just be a tariff, not a negotiation regarding Canada. Again, this 50-50 chance of a deal here with the European Union, though, I don't think it's necessarily good, but the market is so flat right now. If we take a look at this here, look how sideways, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Very, very choppy market. The range here is so small for the NASDAQ. This is the range for the last 30 minutes, so we're not really doing much. This prime 360 level we've been watching, 350s right here that we're watching as well. Although Tesla's starting to creep higher, Google creeping higher, Nvidia, if we take a look at it. We have the framework of, yeah. Yeah, NASDAQ faked a lot of people out. They came all the way down on the European Union news. They came all the way down and then came all the way right back up. It got bought up quick here. You got to understand, though, like a lot of tech is pulling back over the last day. Like Google pulled back from highs. NVIDIA dipped down from highs. And so we might just be getting some buys show up right here. Again, what did I tell you guys to watch this morning, if you guys remember here? So when we were down here at 360s, the level I told you guys to watch was this 200 exponential at 373 roughly. And that's exactly where we went up here. We went right up to that level, came right back down, and now we're just kind of consolidating down here, leading into the opening bell in about 12 minutes. And so we'll see what that looks like. Overnight all-time high can be a normal. Yeah, I mean, the SPY is breaking all-time highs for multiple sessions in a row now. It's been happening over and over. It hasn't been huge breaks, so it's been going up, tapping all-time highs, and then coming back down. But the SPY is opening up close to all-time highs here. If we put the SPY up right here, the SPY is hit 636 late last night, like in the middle of the night last night. The SPY hit 636.57 is the new all-time high on the SPY if you include pre-market. So that's kind of where we're at now with this. So the president said some of the deals would be done by letter. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. My dog started barking. But yeah, so basically the president has come out over the last few minutes saying he wants, he would never want a weaker currency, that there's a 50-50 chance of a European Union deal on Canada. It could just be a tariff negotiation, that some of the deals are going to be done by letter, that we have the confines of a deal with China. And he said tariff letters are going to be going out by Friday. Is essentially where we're at now. We got 11 minutes until the market opens, chat. But that's basically where we're at, he said. So we'll see what we get. Yeah, NVIDIA could hit all-time highs. The NVIDIA all-time highs are way up here, though. They're at 174.50. We're at 173.20, so we're about $1.25 away, 28 cents away from all-time highs here. NASDAQ's still pushing up. Here's the 200 exponential on a 1-minute chart, which I do like. It's at 372.50. Yeah, but what was an interesting thing for Mitch to, like, Mitch and I trade very similarly, it sounds like. Like, we attack the range up to probable levels, and I think that makes the most sense, right? Like, I like looking at milestone levels and then attacking the range. But again, the president says he's considering a rebate payment for low-income Americans. Do you guys think NVIDIA breaks all-time highs today? I don't know. Ooh. All right, guys, we got 8 minutes left until the market open. It's multiple, Nick. So I have multiple different news sources up. And so I usually look at a bunch of different sources to figure out the breaking news, like right when it happens. Yeah, the president said he still wants a strong dollar. But let me know if you like this new setup here. I think this new setup's much better than the old one. A lot more stuff to watch and look at here. You can pass in one day kind of, Eck. So you can pass the morning session, and then after 5 or 6, attack the other session and pass it in one day. And with the new dashboard on Top Step. And again, if you want to check out Top Step, beautiful way to help support the channel. No PDT rule on futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, some currencies. Great way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose money. So if you put up your own $5,000 trying to day trade, you're going to be severely restricted by the PDT rule if it's in stocks, and if it's in futures, you're probably going to lose your whole account, most likely. Most day traders lose. And so instead of trying that, you can get started for $50 a month. That's a smaller risk for sure. If you pass it, 50K funded account, 90% split, you get to keep your first 10K prior to the split kicking in. To pass it, it's a 2 to 3 ratio. You got to make 3K without losing 2K, or a 3 to 2 ratio. So it's reasonable. No PDT in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ. Very, very similar to day trading stocks. Great way to learn how to day trade. You can still attack the open like I do every day. And Top Step has some of the most legit rules in the world. Some of the best payouts, most reliable payouts. And yeah, I'll put the link up if you want to check them out. They are an affiliate or sponsor of mine. I'm biased. I understand all the stuff on screen. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. Not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Sometimes I trade and lose off stream. You might not see it. All right, guys, we got the opening bell in about 4.5 minutes. Yeah, I mean, it's Friday. A lot of the time we get choppiness on Friday. Just, you know, if you're not used to watching Fridays, Friday a lot of the time is sideways. It's stagnant. It's boring. So just be careful into Friday, because Fridays can be dull. Fridays can be dull. We didn't really have a lot of economic reports either. You know, like, we've gotten really good views for our morning stream though. If like for a channel that's just me here, like today we had 1,000 people here at 8:30. Yesterday we had 1,900 people for jobless claims at 8:30. It's been growing a lot, so I appreciate you guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, help me grow the channel. Hey, thank you, Jay. Appreciate it, man. Reliable, fast data. Yeah, for sure. I'm up pretty good in pre-market. I'm contemplating just sitting on the sidelines. Yeah, just be careful. The opening bell, again, can be volatile. Can be kind of whippy. I would just be careful. Yeah, I would just be careful. Opening bell can be kind of flat, boring, choppy, dull. A little bit, you know, just be careful. All right, so a U.S. study committee is initiating a working group to look into what a second budget reconciliation bill would contain. NASDAQ very flat. NVIDIA starting to rebound, though. NVIDIA back up to 173.30s. I mean, we could very easily go green at the opening bell for NVIDIA. Doesn't mean we will, but we could easily if we continue to see market strength. So we'll have to watch what everything else does here. Yeah, durable goods came out. All right, so we're down at 367s here, 367s. That 200 exponential again, right here. Look at NVIDIA shoot up. Let's see if we can find any NVIDIA news here. Look at NVIDIA rising up. Look at Tesla rise up. All right, so the president said they're nearing a trade deal with China. Still rejecting the 200 exponential, though. Tesla up to almost highs of the day here. Might have just broken it, actually. Not quite yet, but close. We're so choppy right now, though, man. The market is not moving almost at all. So just be careful. Yeah. Sam. Yeah, I mean, we are getting very close to the Terminator timeline here. 30 seconds left, chat. 30 seconds. But we're getting close. All right, guys, here we go at the opening bell. We got some strength in tech, although the NASDAQ's falling down some. I'm trying to see what's falling here. Look at this dip in markets right now ahead of the opening bell. Is it consumer? Oh, it's Google. Google coming down a little bit. It's at 192.90s. All right, there's the opening bell, guys. Deutsche, CFO says, will continue to look at CRE loan and portfolio sales. Let's watch the market open now. Still dipping down. We're at 352s, 351s. NASDAQ showing weakness at the opening bell. This is mostly Microsoft driven, though. The weakness that we're seeing in markets is mostly the MSFT. Look, it just went red on the day for a split second. It's now back to green. Look at this retracement back up. NVIDIA just went green on the day. Tesla dipping down some since the opening bell, but not a lot. But a little bit of a dip in Tesla since the open. I'm seeing mostly green here. We are at the very bottom of this range, though. Microsoft's super red for some reason. Deutsche says they continue to look at CRE loan and portfolio sales. I think we already covered that. Yeah, that's basically all the economic reports for the day here. I'm going to wait 5 minutes to day trade. We got the JOLTS job report at 10 a.m. Tuesday. We got the FOMC decision Wednesday. Yeah, so we're stagnating a little bit here. We're very sideways in markets. We're not really moving. I got to wait to see something. Google all the way back up, going very green on the day. Just tapped 194.15. Meta's still down. Microsoft's still down, though. Nvidia's trying to get back up there. Tesla is too. But we're very, very flat right now. So unless I'm going to attack a sideways range. Alright, so we're still breaking down in Nvidia now. Nvidia is now red. We are now only 2 minutes into the day, to the opening bell, though. So I do have to wait here, guys. Palantir moving. Yeah, we're looking at it. Palantir up to almost 160s here, 158.90. Crazy. I'm still trying to wait to see if we get any movement here. Retracing back down. Now back up. Again, Google's running right now. Look at Google. Tesla's up too. Nvidia's fallen down some here. 173s. We're about 3 minutes into the day. I gotta wait at least a couple minutes. Although I do like this 360 rejection here. It's a little too early for me. I swear, if we reject right at 360, I'll be mad. But I gotta wait. I gotta follow my rules. Don't you do it. Oh my gosh, dude. Look at this. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. It just popped right back up. I was gonna be mad, honestly. I'm looking at the rejection right here because it's like a milestone level I have, but we're honestly kind of coming above it real quick. It just depends on if we can hold support. I'm guessing we're going to get a flat day today, but you never know. A lot of apprehension ahead of next week's Fed meeting, GDP, PCE, inflation, payrolls, unemployment, jolts, all non-farm employment data on Wednesday as well. All right, we're creeping right back up, and now we're hitting that 200 exponential. I have to just wait here unless I'm going to attack this, and I think we're too close to the opening bell to attack it. I don't know, actually. Maybe I should have attacked it, but we're close to the opening bell. I can now trade. We're basically 5 minutes into the day, but... Google just came back down. I'm going to try to short this, I guess. Let's try. Maybe add one to it. As long as we don't rip up and test that 200 exponential, I should be okay here. But all right, there we go. We're green. We're gonna take half off there. We're out. Just built up some more profit on the day. Not bad. We caught the short really quick. We're too close to the opening bell for me to take super long-term positions. And we did just attack the top of this range here. We got a rejection right at the 200 exponential. And then here's 360. So we're following the levels I have on my chart pretty well. All right, so in a Reuters poll, the Bank of Canada is going to hold overnight interest rates steady at 2.75% on July 30th, according to all 28 economists. Will cut overnight rate to 2.25% or lower by the end of this year, according to 17 out of 28 economists. Looks like it was good I got out of that short position. Market's really not moving much at all, though, chat. Like, we are not moving much at all. All right, we're over the 200 exponential now. Let's see if we pivot to a long setup here. It's only on a 1 minute chart though, so it's not the most longer term. See, Google coming down a little bit. Microsoft's down on the day. Apple's now red on the day. Nvidia's falling down some too as we speak. But a lot of stuff is red. Now, it depends on whether we think we're going to chop. If you think you're going to chop, we might still go higher here. But I think it's a higher likelihood that the NASDAQ chops versus some of these blue chips. So Very neutral here. I might short a pop if we get it. All right, so we're short. We might add some to it. All right, we're in 2 contracts here. There we go. We're going to take half off. Cut it right there. All right, really nice short. Attacking the range here. Once we got pushed back under the 200 exponential, I don't mind attacking that. Yeah, we're going to start calling Fridays no trend Fridays. All right, guys. Look at the breakdown. So we're starting to test lows. This is mostly driven by Google, Nvidia. Apple's now down to 214s. Microsoft's pretty red on the day, although it looks like it might bounce. Again, not an investment professional. Don't copy me. Will the red action continue here? I've got 2 German Shepherds. Here's one of them. That's Rosie right there. And here's my dogs right here. Here's Bruce. This is Bruce when he was a puppy. All right, guys. NASDAQ bounced it a little bit after breaking down here. This is Bruce when he was like 7 months old, 8 months old. He was a young pup. Teenager, really, but both good dogs. All right, so we came all the way down to 325 under this 350 level. I might short 350 if we get a pop up there, but I need to move all the way up there. We are seeing some rebounds in tech. All right, we're going to short this right here. Maybe add a piece to it. Try to fix this. See if it flush down quickly. I want to give it time. I'm going to cut half of this here. It just looks like it's going to retrace back up, but I don't know. We're going to take off small. Limit our risk here. Oh, sorry guys, we got contractors here. Okay, so I really figured out you have to use limit orders on Top Step X. Limit orders, if you just join the bid or get out of the ask, they work so much better. It's much easier for me to build profit with that. Yeah. Yeah. Bruce is such a cool dog, dude. He is like... He never gets tired. Like Kevin Gates. I don't get tired, he says. You know, he would play fetch all day. Anyway, I play with him all the time. Like, he'll literally jump in our pool and dive underwater. Like, if we throw we have like a tire toy that he plays with. He will dive literally head first into the pool, 3-4 feet deep, grab the tire, and swim back up. Like, he literally dives into water. It's really cool. I have a video of it somewhere. I'll have to find it. But, yeah, just a cool dog. And he sounds mean, too, if you hear him. Yeah, like, here's a video of him when he was young. This was years ago, when he was, like, a little bitty baby. If you want to see a video of him. That's not really a cool one. I don't think he learned to dive in that one yet, but he loves water. Alright guys, we're coming up. I'm still watching 360 here. 360's just been a big level all day. Google's coming back though. It's back technically over that big level that we had on their chart for Google. So a lot of stuff's starting to fight back. Yeah, we got contractors here right now. It's a common thing. Anytime we have people over here working on the house, dude. I mean, I can respect the fact that they're guarding our house. But Bruce especially. He is just like, intruder. There's an intruder here. And so... Yeah, Bruce has apparently learned to hold his breath underwater somehow. Rosie will not go underwater at all. She's more, you know. Anyways, NASDAQ starting to come back. Google up there to 194s. NVIDIA up there 173s. He's all one color. He has no other color on him. Yeah, I mean, if you look at him. See, we had one growing up that was all black, just like Bruce. His name was Bear. He was my mom's dog. And if I hugged my mom wrong, Bear was getting in my face, you know. Although he loved me, or she loved me as a girl, but hyper protective of my mom. Yeah. Yeah, again, that's Bruce. He's a good dog. All right, so CNBC's Faber said he's hearing unrest among core scientific holders and possible activists running a campaign. We had UK Business Secretary Reynolds has rolled out a wealth tax to deal with finance situation, according to Financial Times. And the president just posted again, quote, "You are going to have to finish the job. You know what happens," via Bloomberg. Really, I think he's talking about foreign stuff, conflict news. Chewy? Man, it's been a while since I heard about Chewy stock. What's Chewy stock doing? Here, let me put the music back on. It's kind of stopped. Yeah. Did Chewy sell off hard? The problem is, okay, here's the real problem. If Amazon starts selling dog food like that, and it kind of is, that's bad for Chewy. Although people still use Chewy, but I think it's bad. Also, the president just came out on a trade deal with the UK, saying a meeting with the UK Prime Minister tonight may even approve a deal regarding UK-US trade deal. That news just came out. All right, guys, we're at 370. Still trying to get over that 200 exponential. You think Intel? Yeah, I don't know if Intel's going to run. Intel had a big pullback this morning. It's still down at the opening bell for Intel. Earnings yesterday, still kind of downfall from their earnings yesterday. If you look at INTC, it had a pretty big downfall on this top middle chart right here. Yeah. I mean, we're trying to trade today, but it's so choppy, it's hard to make money, to be honest. It's hard to expect follow-through when the market's been moving up and down, up and down. And again, it is Friday. I'm going to take one micro contract up here. Just one. I'm not really going to add any more to this. I just want to see if we come back down under that 200 EMA again. It's going to depend on what a lot of these do. We're basically flat right now. Although NVIDIA is starting to creep up. NVIDIA at 173.70s. Now, the only way I'll cut this and I'll go long is if NVIDIA starts to run and start moving up to test highs. If NVIDIA starts to run and moving up to test highs, that's a situation where I'm going to become more and more interested in going long. And if we can't hold on the downside, I'm just going to cut this. But let's see us test. There we go. We're green. Now we're back red. Let's see if we break down a little bit more here. Yeah, I'm going to cut this. It just looks too strong. There we go. Just got out. Looks like I got out at the right time. Yeah, it's slow today, man. It's Friday. We just don't have much going on, dude. See, NVIDIA just didn't make it up there, though. I mean, okay, the all-time highs on the NASDAQ are up here at 441.75. Or close to that somewhere. There's a big flush down. Looks like a cup and handle, but I also think today we could get chop. You know? And NVIDIA's not really holding. I'm going to try to short this. Be a little bit more aggressive here. All right, we cut half. We're in 2 now. Let's see if we break down a little bit more. The more we pop higher, the less I like this position. I mean, that might be kind of self-evident. The more we go against me, the less I like it. Duh. Alright, we're going to try to add a little bit if we can up here. That's not what we want. Still green on the day, though, but... yeah, NVIDIA's ripping up. I'm going to just cut this here. We're honestly still very green on the day. Alright, so we just made all the money back in that account that we were just on. I just realized y'all are in a different account. That 400 level held. So the president says French President Macron's statement on overnight conflicts doesn't carry any weight. He says the European Union may have to buy down their tariffs. Bitcoin flushing. Is it really? Yeah, I'm green on most accounts, Stock Jordan. Are you being critical of one losing trade that I have? Alright guys, we're getting close to that 23.4s. Look at that 95 level. Let's see if this level rejects. I want to see if 23.4 holds though. Again, if Nvidia starts to run towards all-time highs, I think that's what's going to carry the momentum higher. So... yeah, it's just not really easy action today. We just tapped 23.4s. Look at that. But again, if Nvidia keeps climbing higher, Nvidia all-time highs are right here. And so I'm going to stick around and trade this if we start to edge higher to Nvidia all-time highs. And I'm going to probably go long if we start to look like we're going to break it, which is right around here. Is he talking to the press? Yeah, I mean, I see it. Nothing really. Alright, so I'm going to start buying a pullback if we can get it. There's one. I'm going to scale into a larger position and probably just risk what I'm up on the day. And then if it turns out to be flat, that's fine. But I think Nvidia is going to start running up to maybe test all-time highs, and I want to try to catch that if I can. It also is possible we just get choppy Friday, but I want to give it a chance. Alright, we're green now. We'll give it one more second, see if we can add a little bit more. There we go. I love a little bit more follow through here. There we go. Nice. All right, we got one left. Nice. Nvidia's right there. I'm gonna cut it right here if I can. There we go, we're out. Easy trades, you know. Nvidia moving up here. Nvidia's about to break all-time highs, like I said. It naturally is going to drag NASDAQ up. It's one of the most heavily weighted stocks in the NASDAQ. So, you know, and again, I want to attack the test of this all-time high. I don't necessarily want to attack the breakout of it. But we got easy momentum on the NQ. Atlanta Fed GDP now came in at 2.4% after rounding. For quarter two, 2.4% for Atlanta Fed GDP now. Alright, so we just broke all-time highs on Nvidia. Again, we want to attack the test of all-time highs, not necessarily the break. It's a nuance and kind of strategy we've talked about multiple times in markets. And look at the test of it. We literally just tapped it, and now we're coming back down. Doesn't mean it's going to hold down, but predictable nonetheless. With that said, though, I'm very green. Yeah, very green here. So we'll see what else we get, but Nvidia looks like it wants to come higher here. Let's see if it does. I give it time to. Nvidia just broke all-time highs again, got up there. Doesn't mean it's not going to hold here, though. Let's see if it retraces higher. Nvidia still fading down a little bit here. Let's see if it moves back up to test that top of that range. I think it's possible. We got the 200 exponential below us. Bouncing back up a little bit. President says most of trade deals are finished right now. Most of the deals are letters instructing tariff rates. Some letters will say 10, 15%. We're popping right back up here. Let's see if we go higher. Nvidia is propelling higher too. Let's see if we can keep it up. Tesla broke highs. Yeah, the president did come out saying most of trade deals are finished right now. Most of the deals are letters instructing tariff rates. Some letters say 10, 15%. Tesla still breaking highs. Dragging NASDAQ higher and higher. U.S. President says on his conversation with PM Netanyahu that he cannot say what was discussed. It's somewhat disappointing, end quote. All right, the big story is what NVIDIA does right here, like whether NVIDIA moves up to test some of these big levels. All right, NASDAQ popping. Let's see if it continues. Video looks like it wants to bounce up there. See if it goes higher. Yeah, we're right up there. Let's see, we're close to this big level up here. Yeah, we're green at everything today. Very nice day, easy day. We just traded a little bit on the other account that we have. NVIDIA moving up to test all-time highs again. Very predictable. I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to cut it. Hey, y'all be good. Remember, check out TopStep. Beautiful way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose money, so if you fund your own account, you're probably going to lose some of the most reliable payouts, some of the best in the game. Regardless of what anybody says negatively, everybody knows TopStep has the most reliable payouts. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, some currencies. Just a beautiful way to learn when most day traders lose money. Again, I'll put the link up one more time. Beautiful way to help support the channel. They're a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased, but you get started for $50 versus funding thousands in a funded account or in your own account and probably losing. Yeah, again, guys, remember what I always say. I want to attack the test of this all-time high, right? Before we cut out, I want to attack the test of this all-time high. And so I'm not attacking this. You know, I am instead attacking this. Okay, I want to ride this up here. Once we get within a range of all-time highs, I start buying the NASDAQ here. Ride it up. I start buying the NASDAQ here. Ride it up to test this level, and then I cut it at the top. That's what you saw me do most of the day. Makes a lot of sense. We talk about this in nuance a lot. Some of the easiest money to make in markets. Can't guarantee anything, not an investment professional. I'm not even claiming to be good. but this works a lot for me. So, hey, I love you all. You'll have a great day. We'll be back next week bright and early. I'll see you guys then. Understand all the stuff on screen. Later, chat.